This could get me to 7 followers. This could be a 7-follower day.
Hey guys, this is Spoonie, and I'm a little late with this because I got the air dates mixed up, but better late than never, so here's my review of episode 3. Okay, so the episode starts off with the first public reveal of Superman. There's a blimp that sort of explodes, and he's able to stop the debris from raining on people. Um, this is his public event in other media, like the cartoons and comics and stuff like that. Typically involve his first appearance, like he's either, stopping a train or saving a plane, or so this is, I guess, this show's version of that. Anyway, nearby we have Stryker's Island Prison, and there's an escape happening. We get introduced to a couple new characters here. The first is Kyle. He's actually this show's interpretation of the Golden Age Starman villain, the Mist, and the comic book version was able to sort of become incorporeal and sort of turn invisible, and this version only seems to be able to turn invisible. The other character, this character that goes by the name of Albert, but his sort of code name is Roughhouse. Now, Roughhouse wasn't really developed much in the comics. He was part of Intergang. He was actually one of the clones of the original 1940s Intergang. The comics version was relatively undeveloped, with the character being a little more than a superpowered thug. This gives the writers here a chance to develop the character in a way that might actually be reflected in the comics if it's done well enough. The two of them are there to break out a character called Siobhan McDougal, who is the Silver Banshee. Now, in the comic books, her powers are supernatural. There's a curse on her family bloodline. In this show, going with the kind of theme of this advanced tech that they all seem to be using, they give her a helmet that can amplify sound. It's the same advanced technology that both Mist, Roughhouse, and Livewire have been using. So at the Daily Planet, Lois is using Clark to rehearse an interview with Superman, and they hear some noise in their office. We do get to meet the characters that were mentioned in the last episode: Cat Grant, Ron Troop, and Steve Lombard. Now, in this show, Ron has been changed to Ronnie, but the character's sensible level-headedness seems consistent with the version depicted in the comic books. So the three senior reporters have been assigned to the Superman beat, and they're taking away all the files that Lois, Clark, and Jimmy have compiled. Ronnie assures them that they will receive credit in the final story, but our characters decide that they're going to want to beat them to the scoop. Silver Banshee, Mist, and Roughhouse are at their hideout, where Mist is showing them a large device made from the same technology as their personal gear. It is some kind of ice cannon, but he is unable to turn it off. Roughhouse punches it and is able to shut it down. So these characters call themselves Intergang. They were previously a small-time gang of crooks that robbed convenience stores, but with this new technology, they plan on stepping it up to get the respect they feel they deserve. Lois ends up stealing Kat, Ronnie, and Steve's press passes, so her, Clark, and Jimmy can gain entry to the Strikers Island prison. They're able to get inside Silver Banshee's cell, and Lois is able to find a note with 3 different times written on it. The guards find out about the stolen IDs, and they chase them out of there. Now, there was a poster in the cell, and Jimmy ended up taking a picture of it, and on the back was actually a floor plan for the Metropolis Bank. And Jimmy figures out that the 3 times written in there are probably for armored car deliveries. Intergang arrive at the bank. They use the ice cannon to freeze everyone, and they bust in the vault. Our characters get to the scene, and Clark goes to call for help. Superman arrives, and he tries to stop the gang. The Mist activates that ice cannon thingy, but it backfires, and it starts to freeze him. Roughhouse tries punching it again, but he actually ends up destroying it and exposing the core. The core is some kind of alien or advanced technology looking thing, that creates an ice field that expands outward. Knowing that not just his friends, but that the entire city is in danger because of this, Superman manifests his heat vision for the first time. He melts himself free from the ice and destroys the alien core. The ice instantly fades, and he starts to receive visions of robots that look like the ones seen in the previous episodes, fighting on some kind of other planet in a war. After the threat is gone, first responders show up to try to treat the people in the bank. Deathstroke is disguised as one of them, and presumably to capture Intergang. Outside of the bank, Lois approaches Superman for an interview. Kat, Ronnie, and Steve push their way to the front trying to get the first interview, but obviously preferring to talk to Lois. Clark picks her up and he takes her to the roof of the Daily Planet. Now, she gets her interview with Superman, but he explains honestly that he doesn't know much about who he is, where he comes from, or the full extent of his powers. He just tells her that he cares about the city and that he's here to help, and he flies away. Now, after that happening, Clark rushes up to the top of the roof to meet Lois. She tells him that she got her interview with Superman, and she knows that he's lying. Okay, so first of all, the show finally gets an intro. Now, it is kind of short and sweet. The music is kind of poppy and energetic, and the visuals match. We do get a cool shot towards the end of the intro, though. Now, it looks like you can see a lot of the villains and threats that are coming up. Obviously, characters like Amanda Waller stand out right away. You do have Silver Banshee there on the left. Right above her, I believe, is Roughhouse. On the right side, I assume that this show's interpretations of Mr. Mixia-Spitlick, and that I think that to be probably Doomsday on the bottom. In the center of the image, there's a weird alien ship, and there appears to be a Kryptonian at the center of it. Now, they're probably just going to have this be Zod, but I think it would be cool if it turns out that Jor-El survived and that he's the one that sort of wants to colonize Earth. Now, next to that Kryptonian, you have Deathstroke with the orange and black suit, and obviously he's dual wielding. And then you see Livewire in her electric armor or whatever it was. The robot-looking soldiers to the left of Waller and the charged energy hands guy just above her. I'm not really sure who they could be. Obviously, we'll be introduced to them eventually. And finally, there's the mysterious shadowy figure that's kind of overseeing everything, who I'm pretty sure would probably going to be Darkseid. And I'm saying that just because there's a ton of Kirby references throughout this show. So I noticed at least 2 Amazotech Easter eggs in this episode. The first one is in the blimp in the opening scene. And the next one is the flyer that the times are written on. That's in Silver Banshee's cell. The Strikers Island prison warden is named Agatha Zorbatos. That's actually a character from the comics, but is more associated with the kind of Batman family. She is the prison warden for Blackgate Prison in the Gotham City area. That's the main prison in the Batman universe. Arkham Asylum is where they put like the insane people, like the Joker or Two-Face. But any other kind of even superpowered villain go to Blackgate. So any of the mobsters he fights, or Poison Ivy, or anybody that isn't like insane, everybody just goes to Blackgate. So I thought this was another good episode. I thought first of all, the whole Steve Lombard scooping things was pretty funny.
I apologize about Steve. He thinks scoop means to steal. It just means getting a story before another reporter.
And I'm scooping this.
Reporting credit when we're done. Thank you.
Scooped.
It was cool to see new interpretations of characters that traditionally have nothing to do with the Superman universe. Like, again, like the prison warden or the Mist. I feel like there's a little bit of a mystery that they're building there. When Superman defeats Intergang, Deathstroke shows up to capture the 3 of them, presumably to take them to the same place that they have Livewire being kept. And even the cliffhanger that the episode ends on is intriguing. So yeah, I got the air date on this mixed up. It was the 14th, but for some reason in my head I had the 17th standing out. So this did end up coming out a little bit late, but I am sort of on top of episode 4, and you won't have to wait as long for that. Anyways, I hope you guys will join me for that, and I'll see you then. Bye.